listening to the Dr. No Show on WHIT Radio.org. Okay, it's WHIT Radio.org on the air. It's the Dr. No Show, the Morning Buzz with Brandon Barris. And now here's Brandon with the top stories. Brandon?
It's a diplomatic equivalent of hosting both the World Cup and the World Series in the same country on the same weekend. On Saturday, President Barack Obama welcomes the leaders of the world's most powerful countries to the G8 conference at his country retreat in Camp David in Maryland. And the next day, he hosts 24 NATO heads of Chicago. Someone who may be posing as a police officer is pulling over cars on a Mississippi highway and then shooting drivers dead, authorities said. Facebook announced Wednesday that 25% more shares of the company will be sold in its planned initial public offering later this week. Now, Mr. P, Facebook is basically the biggest chat room, I guess you could say, on the internet. Everybody has a Facebook. That's how everybody communicates nowadays if you don't have a phone or you don't text. Right. Facebook is really the centerpiece of how everybody communicates. And now they are, starting to sell little bits and pieces of it, and people can really become billionaires or millionaires overnight with this.
Well, they are. I mean, I think it's worth about $100 billion, the company, and it's worth more than GM or, any company, even more bigger than Apple. So it's a huge, huge corporation right now. Whether or not, if you buy into it when they have the IPOs, I don't know what the price is going to be set. If it continues to grow, you're going to make a lot of money. A lot of people think Facebook has peaked. I don't know if that's, I think everybody's on it. And you don't know what's down the pike, what's the next big thing. People are fickle. If the next big thing comes out, next technology thing comes out, Facebook could suffer. Just like MySpace was the big thing maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but now it's like, I don't know where it is now.
Yeah.
But
and I think the biggest question you have to ask is, are you willing to take the risk?
Right.
Are you willing to go out, buy a share on this, and then, if the next month something else comes out, then basically you're in trouble. Right. Because then you could have said to yourself, well, I could have bought this, but I didn't know it was coming out. So it's the
thing is, Facebook is so entrenched now. It's such a part of our society and our fabric of our society that I don't see it going away. Whether it'll grow from here, it's anybody's guess, but I don't think it's going to go away anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go away. I mean, there's, other apps or websites that are coming out with, Instagram and a bunch of other little, companies. But do I ever think it'll beat Facebook? No, not a shot. Facebook has grown so much over the years. It's, as I said before, it's been really the centerpiece of the communication nowadays.
Right.
Well, today in history, in 1929, the first Academy Awards were given on this night. The term Oscars was not used to describe the statues given to actors and actresses until 1931. So, Mr. P.
They gave it out now, May 16th. Now the Oscars are given out in March.
Right.
I don't know what they were. I don't know when the term Oscar was first. 1931 was given to act until 1931. So the first Oscars were 1929. Do we know who hosted that?
Who hosted the first Oscars? I actually don't know.
All right, maybe we'll find out for you, but I don't really know who did that. Today's birthdays: Betty Carter.
Yes, it is Betty Carter's birthday today.
Who's Betty Carter?
She was an award-winning jazz and blues singer whose career started at the age of 16.
Okay.
16 years old. She did a song like Whatever Happened to Love in 1982.
Very nice. Kind of obscure, but it's good to know. And we're going to continue with our presidents of the United States.
Right.
And yesterday we did Ulysses S. Grant. Today we're doing Rutherford B. Hayes. So tell us a little bit about him, Brandon.
Yeah, well, Rutherford B. Hayes was the 19th president of the United States. He was in office from 1877 to 1881. As president, he oversaw the end of the Reconstruction and the United States entry in the Second Industrial Revolution. Hayes was a reformer who began the efforts to lead the civil service reform and attempted unsuccessfully to reconcile the divisions that had to lead American Civil War 15 years later.
Okay.
So
Was president, 19th president, one term, 1877 1881, and basically the Reconstruction period was after the Civil War, and that's when the South was being reformed and rebuilt.
right. And our random fact for today, always interesting and always fun. Blue birds cannot see the color blue.
Did not know
So,
that. That's an interesting random fact. Yes.
yeah. In sports, yesterday we had the NBA playoffs continuing. The Indiana Pacers beat the Miami Heat 78-75.
Miami might have a challenge here without Bosch.
Right.
He seems to be out for the series. They're not giving us a return date on him, and they really do not stack up well against Indiana without him, and they're going to have a struggle.
Right, and I think, as I said yesterday, a lot of people underestimate Indiana. Indiana has a really good team.
They really do. No great superstars pouncing out at you, but they have a good overall balanced team.
Right, yeah. And when you have, their all-star Danny Granger who can make big shots,
right,
as well as Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, you're going to have a tough series.
Right.
And I don't think the Heat and Indiana series will be as easy as the Heat and Knicks series.
Right.
So, it's going to be a tough one and also a fun one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So their series is tied 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
The other game that was on yesterday after that one was the LA Clippers and the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio beat them 108-92.
Okay.
And the LA Clippers, of course, have their two big names, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
But the Spurs, as much as people say they're getting old with Tony Parker
Right.
and Tim Duncan, I mean, they're still a good team.
Yeah, and a great coach, and they know how to win.
They absolutely
do. They put the pieces together. They always have a balanced team, a good team that plays well, and maybe Tim Duncan's not what he used to be, but he's still a force, and they just know how to put a good competitive championship-type team on the floor every year. So.
Right. Well, today's games will be Boston versus 76ers at 7 o'clock. Their series is tied 1-1. That'll be a fun one to watch.
Right.
The one I'm looking forward to watching is the LA Lakers and OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder, at 9:30. And the Thunder lead that series 1-0.
Right.
That's going to be a real fun, interesting series
Sure.
to watch.
Yeah.
In the NHL, yes, we're getting closer and closer to the Stanley Cup. The Los Angeles Kings beat Phoenix yesterday 4-0. The Kings lead that series 2-0. And Mr. P, I know you're not that big of a hockey fan, but the Kings have really, really been unbelievable in the playoffs. It's been amazing to watch.
How were they during the season?
During the season, I think they were stacking up around that 1-2 mark.
Yeah.
But I could check that out for you. But yeah, as I said, the Kings really, they're not a big team. They're not, like the Rangers. You're going to look at them like, oh, well, they're going to do big things this year. But, it's always the little teams that surprise you. And I think, the Kings have really done an amazing job this year. But today is the biggest game. Well, not the biggest game, but a really big game between the Devils and the Rangers. The Rangers and Devils, there's such a rivalry between the two, and that's what even makes it better to watch, especially if you're there live. And so, I'm gonna be definitely watching that tonight. And personally, I'm gonna be cheering for the Rangers because I do want them to go to the Stanley Cup. But having residing in Jersey, I still have some care for the Devils. But it's gonna be a fun one to watch, no doubt about it. Now, today I went around the school. And I interviewed two teachers, Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Myers. They're both employees here at High Tech High School. And basically, I just asked them, who do you think is going to win the series, why, and what makes it so fun to watch. So, Mr. P, why don't we go to the tape real
I'm
quick?
a diehard Ranger fan. I've been a Ranger fan possibly 35, 40 years. Used to have season tickets for them. I was a little surprised in Game 1 in the Devils series. I thought that the Devils would come out a little more aggressive, a little more in-your-face type of hockey. That seems to take the Rangers out of their game sometime. But the Devils came out and literally played hockey. I mean, it's a known fact. Both teams just totally dislike each other. There were two cases this year where there was fights 3 seconds into the game and 4 seconds into the game. One time it was 2 players, one time it was three sets of 2. I mean, it's known fact. So when the Devils came out and literally just played hockey for 60 minutes, I found that a little out of the norm. I think if that continues, I see the Rangers advancing to the Stanley Cup. And watching the other series, the LA Kings right now look unstoppable. They won 9 straight road games. They're 2-0. They just took 2 from the Phoenix Coyotes in Phoenix. But getting back to the Rangers-Devils series, if things play out like they did on Monday night, I think if it happens again tonight, which is game 2, and the Rangers frustrate the Devils, then I think it might be a short series, maybe going 5. But Devils win tonight. They take over the home ice advantage. And so it's crucial to come out strong against the Devils tonight.
That is a big series in New York. And here with another opinion is Mr. Meyer, our broadcasting teacher.
I'm a diehard Ranger fan. I've been a Ranger fan.
Excuse me?
Possibly 30.
Excuse me?
That was Mr. Gonzalez.
I'm a diehard
I don't
Ranger
know why
fan.
it's
I've been a
doing
Ranger
that.
fan.
Let's go.
Well, I
let's
just
go
want
back.
to
All right,
30,
yeah.
real quick.
30, 35.
Before I had said that the Los Angeles Kings were in the 1-2 spot, they were actually number 8. They were the 8th seed, and they've gotten this far. That's why I said it's always the little teams that do the craziest things. So the Los Angeles Kings, as I said before, are doing really, really well. As Mr. Gonzalez said, they won 9 straight away games in the playoffs in a row. So the Kings are doing really well. I think they have the best chance of winning the Stanley Cup.
As far as who I want to
Meyer
win,
now.
I would say the Rangers, just because at the end of the day, I just think it would be a lot more fun just to see like a New York team win. It would be cool to see the Devils win too. So no answer.
Okay, so that was Mr. Meyer. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, but we're just trying to get this new system down. But those are 2 teachers on there on the hockey game, and we'll be working on getting it a little smoother than that. But right now we're just playing around with it. Mets lost yesterday, 8-0, split the 2-game series with the Brewers. They said there was 22,000 people in the seat. I watched a few innings. It looked like about 2,000 people in the seats, but that was the official attendance.
Right. Hopefully we'll have more tonight when they play the Reds at 7:10. And we're actually starting another 2-game series, and the Yanks split a 2-game series yesterday by losing 5-2, and the Yanks play Toronto tonight at 7:07.
Yeah. So the Yanks lost another pitcher too. I forget who they said, Roberts or something like that. Also goes on to DL. The Yankees played Toronto. Giants see that they're going to release their new ring, Super Bowl ring. It looks very nice. And they'll be presented that ring at the White House. So
Mr. P, I think
go Giants.
I think you might want one of those rings if possible.
I don't deserve it. It's not for me. But I'm happy the Giants won their 4th Super Bowl.
Yes.
And
it even makes it better for you, Mr. Pete, when you beat my team.
The Patriots, yes. It's always good to beat the Patriots and Bill Belichick. Now the last 2 Super Bowls we played the Patriots, we've beat them. Have they been in the Super Bowl outside of the Giants in the last 5 years, or?
I think the last 2 Super Bowls they were in were with the Giants.
Okay, so.
And I think the same thing for the
very
Giants.
Close games, could have been decided by a play here or there. Very equally talented teams. It's always good to see, especially the matchup of Brady and Manning. Two top quarterbacks in this league, and maybe we'll have a repeat this year. We don't know, but we'll see.
I think that even if we do have another Giants Patriots Super Bowl, I don't think that everybody they'll be hyped for it, but I don't think it'll be the Patriots fan will be too happy because the Giants beat them 2 times in a row. So let's say the Patriots beat them once, they're basically going to say, well, you know what, we beat you 2 times, we're still better than you.
Right.
So I think, the Giants do have some bragging and, and some trash talking rights, but
Right.
overall, I'm always going to be a Patriots fan. And speaking of the Patriots, Wes Welker signed a $9.5 million tender offer, and now he is going to probably, besides Tom Brady, be the franchise player. So that's a little update on the Patriots, and Mr. P gave you update with the Giants on their Super Bowl rings.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for today.
Right, yeah, it's been a great day here at WHIT Radio. You were listening to The Morning Buzz with me and Mr. P. Keep it locked to you every day of the week.
WHIT Radio. You're listening to the Dr. No Show on WHITradio.org.